The reason you think all South Asians are smart isn't because all South Asians are smart. It's because of the model minority myth. Unless a kid is visibly struggling, grades, behavior, or something else, teachers assume that kids are fine. Teachers don't flag it when South Asian American kids are struggling because they typically don't notice. Schools don't build support systems because on paper, South Asian American students by and large tend to perform well on tests. Again, statistically speaking. Research doesn't get funded because look who's in charge. By the way, during the Obama era, there was actually a significant push to get more data on South Asian American experiences both in school and otherwise, part of the White House Initiative on Asian and Pacific Islanders. Needless to say, under the current administration, data disaggregation is not being funded. There's also a misconception that the model minority myth isn't harmful because it should function as some kind of a Pygmalion effect. After all, won't you just rise to high expectations? But that's not how this works. Yes, it's still a privilege compared to how some other kids get stereotyped. I'm a former classroom teacher. I literally have a doctorate in education. I promise you I understand that there are worse and more insidious and more directly harmful, painful stereotypes that exist for other racialized groups. It is still a fact that South Asian and East Asian American kids have their needs overlooked in schools. Many of them struggle with anxiety and depression. And sure, many of them go on to be successful despite not having their needs met in schools. But there are plenty more who are struggling while they're experiencing being a student. Brown kids are generally treated as fine. In the culture at large, brown families are treated as doing well. But what about the gap between looking fine and actually being fine? There's an incredible book on childbirth, stay with me, this is relevant, by Dr. Ann Lyerly called A Good Birth. And in it, she talks about how the questions that surround childbirth focus on outcomes. You always want to know, is mom okay? Is the baby okay? But the questions rarely center on the experience. And the crazy thing is, if you ask any woman who has given birth recently, depending on how traumatic it was, one of the first things she'll talk to you about is the experience of giving birth, partly because it blows your mind the first time you do it, but also because it is such a life-changing experience. Ann Lyerly's book was the first book I had ever read that focused solely on the importance of discussing experiences even when outcomes were good, even when everything is fine. Baby is healthy, mom is healthy. An experience being negative still have lasting effects on the mental health and even the bonding of a mom and her baby, and significantly impact her experience of matrescence. I, as a researcher, posit that a South Asian American kid who ends up with good grades and even goes on to a good college, them having a negative K through 12 experience still matters. If you're in education, you understand that this is true. Experiences in schools are just as important as outcomes. My own book, Brown Voices, talks about South Asian American experiences in schools. All of the research participants are individuals who were reflecting on what it was like for them growing up brown in American schools. Even for the ones who are very successful today, a lot of them experience some things that are really concerning. Bother me not only because I'm a former teacher, but because I'm a parent. If you're a parent or a teacher, they would probably bother you too. In my work, don't end the sentence on, oh, they turned out fine. And partly because I'm a former teacher, but more importantly, because I am a parent to two brown kids. People are saying that South Asian American kids are fine in school. It's because they're not looking hard enough.